Your 2024 U.S. Women's Champion, Missy Gannon.
She did it.
Your 2023 United States Women's Disc Golf FPO Champion, Kristin Tatar.
Winner of the playoff, Katrina Allen.
Freshly crowned United States Women's Disc Golf Champion, Sarah Holcomb.
Your 2017 United States Women's Disc Golf Champion, Paige.
Kristin Tatar pure into the basket for her first major. And here you have it, your first-time major champion, Haley King, a Wisconsinite coming home, and what a beautiful moment, and she is in disbelief. Hello and welcome to round one of the 2025 PDGA United States Women's Disc Golf Championships. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the two hot geese.
Honk.
And we're back.
We are back.
We ebb and we flow with the tides. We're happy to be here now with you all late on the first day of the U.S. Women's Championship.
Yes, we had a rain delay, so we are in the booth a little later than normal. Sorry if we're rowdy.
I'm not sorry.
It's past our bedtime.
Let's
but
go.
We're going to do our best here. Back and better than ever. Let's start with hole one. It's 445 feet. It's one that, with the distance, you think you could get even close to the basket, but it's such a sharp left angle off the tee that it is difficult to get anywhere close to the putting area. A solid off putter or mid-range is what you throw off the tee. Your second shot, you have to navigate trees, kind of the theme of Rollin Ridge.
We are going to check in immediately with Evelina Saarinen. You can get aggressive here, but it doesn't always pay off that much. As Madison said, it's hard to get close for a putt. That's as good of a drive as you're going to see. There's that OB on the right. The red around the bridge is just casual relief.
Evelina pushed a little deep. She has a hyzer forehand to the green, and she navigates it perfectly.
This is a nice starting hole. You do have to hit a little gap and be on your game, but it's pretty short and gettable. There's going to be lots of gettable par 4s and 5s and difficult par 3s out here. Sorry, Missy, welcome to the tee.
It's really easy to push a little bit too deep, taking birdie out of the equation. Missy, though, 81% fairway hits. She knows what she's going to do here off the tee.
Missy, our defending U.S. Women's Champion, also coming off her last major victory at the Champions Cup this year. And she's going pretty big off the tee to start. And that's a pretty typical story out here at Rollin Ridge.
Up next, we have Paige Pierce.
Paige has played this event a bunch of times. Her father-in-law also living here, so this place is close to her heart in more ways than one.
I believe Paige holds the record for the most wins of U.S. women majors. Yeah.
Thank you. Our next competitor, Kristin, Lätt.
Kristin Lätt probably needs no introduction these days, so I'm just going to shut up. No, I'm just kidding. She's looking to secure her third U.S. Women's here. And that's a great start.
And finishing our card, we have Silva, Saarinen.
A lot of competitors have not gotten to play an event here at these courses in Wisconsin. There used to be the Silver Cup A tier that I believe there was one Q Series / Disc Golf Pro Tour Silver here 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think last year might have been Q and the year before silver,
Yep.
something like that.
And then the Silver Cup is a long had tournament in the area. Wisconsin is awesome. We are very happy to be here. These two courses are pretty epic.
This is my first time here, and I'm blown away at the amount of work that has been put into this course just as a long-standing course. Like how many benches and structures and care and T signs, and every hole is named and has a story. Like it's pretty epic. Paige really trying to scramble and luckily rolls out.
I believe this course is in the top 35 courses in the world. It's like number 31 or 32.
In UDisc, like for popularity?
Yep, I think so. So it's very exciting to have the U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championships here. There's a lot of different basket and tee pad locations on most of the holes. So
Yeah. 3 different pads on every hole.
Yep.
I don't know how many pin placements. Silva just smartly chipping up, not trying to bite off too much. She'll have a solid chance to save par. Silva coming off a win at the Preserve. So great to see her on the card.
this is a very different type of course. Paige going to chip a forehand up as far as she can before hitting a tree. It's kind of the story of Rollin Ridge. You're going to see a lot of shots like this. The rough is pretty dense, but 9 times out of 10, you're just looking at a checkerboard of trees if you're off the fairway.
Missy looking at that checkerboard, able to get out, but not very far. One thing I like about U.S. Women's is the matching shirt game from player to caddy is stronger than any other event. So keep an eye out for that.
It's so true.
Silva using the backboard there. There's one. Missy and Tom.
Yeah, they always have a strong matching game.
Yeah, but it's particularly strong here.
True that. Missy going to slide one up to circle 2. She has a little work left to do to save that par.
Kristin with the trusty harp puts it to about 20 feet.
We have, what, 70 competitors?
78, I believe.
78
Which
competitors.
is actually a little low compared to recent years. We've been pushing 100 for a few years now, but still more than we see at most, Pro Tour events where it usually get hitting 50 or 60. So always nice to have a few more women playing. I wish I knew the total. I should have looked it up for the entire event. U.S. Women's is always so great. So many divisions.
Yeah, some speculation on why there's less this year. Maybe an increase in the registration cost. A lot of regional women are known to come out to U.S. Women's. It's really cool. You get to meet a bunch of players you've never played with before as a touring player. And but with, registration costs going up a little bit for touring players, and it falls back on regional players as well. And it's not as easy for people to cough up that much money, but the Great Lakes has a huge disc golf scene in Wisconsin and Michigan and Minnesota. So it's really cool. We have a ton of spectators, a ton of volunteers out here, and we're really stoked with the 78 women as well.
Not super stoked with this start from our feature card, though. Surprising bogeys, particularly from Missy, but Paige unable to recover early. A couple pars is fine, but I'd be willing to bet that this played, not easy, but easy-ish.
Yeah, it was in the middle of the pack.
Hi, what's up guys? It's Paul. I'm here to tell you that today's video is sponsored by Vessi. Some of my favorite features that Vessi gives you is they are waterproof, not water resistant, waterproof. Big difference there, keep your foot completely dry. Of course, when you find a shoe, you want comfort. That's exactly what Vessi gives you. It's the most comfortable shoe that I've ever played in. When we're playing on the tour, we're playing a lot of rounds. We're covering a lot of ground, so you need to make sure that you have a comfortable shoe, and that's exactly what Vessi gives you. So you have comfort, they're also waterproof, but the most important part about having a great shoe on tour is the grip. These work well on concrete, turf, fairway, bad situations. Best grip that I've ever had as far as a shoe goes. I started wearing Vessi Stormburst this year. I absolutely fell in love with them. You can get them in the high top, the low top. Like I said already, that the grip is fantastic and they look pretty cool too. If you want to give Vessi a shot, you can get 15% off your first order. All you have to do is go to vessi.com/JomezPro. That's vessi.com/JomezPro for 15% off.
Hole 2, we're going out in the open. It's a par 4, 558 feet. There's OB on this right side and a pond/bog over here that you can go across if you're feeling saucy, and if you do, it's a much shorter upshot. Obviously, the OB towards the green really wraps in close on the left side, closer than the right, but there's definitely OB everywhere. It's interesting to go from a heavily wooded shot to more of like a, I guess you described it kind of as like a fox run style, just wide open OB line fairway. It's short enough where you can definitely think about the birdie, but you really have to get, I think, either aggressive off the tee or just have a really big second shot that's uphill and kind of risky.
And if you don't have a comfortable 350 feet of distance, this is a sneaky hard hole. Kristin's going to make it look easy, of course, but it's that shot she just threw is every bit of 350 or 360.
Yeah, at least. And it's really easy to end up messing with the bog. We'll see Silva definitely, yep.
Centered.
And Silva throws so far.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of ladies kind of bailing out just a hair early to the left and leaving it a big second shot.
And that big second shot is tough. The OB on the left side is just barely outside the circle. It pinches in as you get closer to the green.
When I came through, this was mostly like a left to right / headwind. Missy gonna find the same line as Silva. Gonna find that OB.
On the heat map, that little bog is just on fire.
So, Matt, you went through earlier in the morning. We're dealing with some conditions where we have a bigger field. We're playing later in the day. So the conditions really varied. Was it pretty windy for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just as windy. Pretty steep or a stiff left to right wind. But you couldn't feel it on the tee pad. It was just like a sneaky one. Once you got out, you're like, whoa.
Paige putting some nice height on that disc. She's going to be well safe. Missy from way back here, and that's heading towards out of bounds. We'll see if it. Oh yeah,
She might be safe.
It
actually.
could be safe with that tree hit.
I landed over there, and the OB line is thankfully pulled off of that little patch of trees Missy landed in. There's like one little line of trees you can be in. So these ladies were supposed to tee off at 2:30, but we had a lightning delay before they even started and a very heavy but brief downpour. It doesn't look like it now, but man, do you know what time they started? Had to have been after a little after 3. Yeah, I think the delay was
3:20, I
35
believe.
minutes. Yeah. And the heavy but brief. I mean, brief but heavy. It was insane.
And that's going to make the conditions harder in the woods where the ground is already quite soft. So the later cards may be having a slight disadvantage in the woods.
Another red spot on the heat map is that bush that Paige landed right behind. So many discs filter in there trying to avoid that OB on the left side, and it is a tough little spot to putt from.
Kristin with a crush off the tee, just has a little forehand chipper here. Kind of leaves that up high and a little soft, that left to right wind taking it into the bush.
Out of 78 competitors, there were only 12 birdies. I knew this hole would play tough. I didn't know it would play that tough.
Do you have a guess for the easiest hole?
Oh yeah, the game.
Our game.
I'm gonna go
Oh, woof.
with an easy par 4, and I think I'm gonna pick hole 8. We have some very challenging par 3s on this course. That's kind of the theme, and the par 4s are a lot simpler. So I'm gonna go with hole 8.
I like it. It's definitely one of the shorter par 4s. Great conversion and par save from Silva. I'm gonna go one after hole 9. One of the shortest par 5s I think we ever play.
Yeah, love that.
Hoping to see some eagles out
We're
there.
going to find out who wins the game in the front 9. We love that for everyone.
We do. Then you can stop watch. I'm just kidding. You should watch the rest.
The back 9 of Rollin Ridge is wild.
Kristin, awkward stance there, unable to convert the birdie. Mad, we were speculating on what would be a good score out here, thinking even would be solid, and
Yeah.
that 5 would be kind of a a really amazing score.
Yeah, I think it's going to score very similarly to Idlewild. Like, you're very happy taking pars and not having to get super aggressive, taking your birdies where you can, but protecting them as well.
I think if someone were to have a day like Missy did at the final day of Cascade Challenge, where she was bogey free, scrambling really well, that kind of thing, I do think double digits are possible, but it would be
It'd be like
unbelievable.
crazy.
Yeah, it's like that would really be your day of the year.
Yes.
Casey Pennington leading the field, 2 down through 2. Feature card.
Love
not,
to see that.
Yeah, not finding any green yet.
Hole 3, the first par 5 of the day, and the first of 3 par 5s we play. It's 1,005 feet. This one's by far the longest one, wide open with out of bounds all the way down the left and right side. You're very worried about it on the tee shot, but after that, you can open up a little bit more. You're not as worried. It fans out nicely, but as you come into this green, that's where it pinches off again, kind of the theme of these open holes. The green is pretty heavily guarded by those 2 trees, and it's easy to have some tricky putting situations. Let's immediately check in with Lucky Lorenzen from the second card.
Listen to that wind. It's a difficult wind for this tee. It's right to left, so you really have to trust it out over the OB and not let it drift too far into out of bounds. That's a really good first shot.
So good. And it's so important to get huge distance on these first 2 shots.
You like have to get up the hill to not be just working so hard for par.
And you can see even on the top of the hill, Lucky still can't quite see the basket. So even with 3 unbelievable shots, she's still barely trickling into circle 2.
Yeah, this one's exceedingly difficult. And the OB is even closer than I realized, particularly on that left side. What a putt.
Wow. Birdies are going to be so rare on this one.
Very rare. Looks like that takes her to 2 down. Kristin up first, deciding between 2 discs on the tee. Not something we see her do very often. She usually has a game plan and sticks exactly to it. She ended up going with a bullseye grace, and it looks like a good choice. Center cut. What wind? That's early out of Silva's hand, but might bite.
Yeah, that first line of tall grass is safe. The second one is where the OB line is just on the inside edge.
Paige going big here.
Huge.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
phenomenal. Wow. She's trying to birdie this thing. Pretty good matching outfits, too.
This right to left wind makes this shot so difficult. Missy really trusting this thrasher.
Yeah, well done. It's definitely scary to push that right side. Sometimes I don't know, it felt like right to left when I practiced, but it can be a bit of a headwind too, and sometimes it just holds your disc out of OB the whole way, and then you have to go way back to the out of bounds. Silva doing a good job with her standstill to get to nearly the top of the hill. You want to be high left on the hill if you can.
This camera angle is deceiving. I think it's just because it's so open, but it makes it look like it's not that far, but it is a very, very far shot to get to the top of the hill.
Absolutely. Kristin really putting a move on this one, flexing it out. It's a ton of distance, but she's going to be a little pinned up, perhaps. She doesn't look happy with it. And that can be a bit of that maybe kind of sneaky headwind. I like this angle from Paige a lot. Smoked.
So far.
Silva all the way out on the top of the hill, opting for a standstill again. Ooh, that's a lot of turn. There is OB over there, but I think she's fine. It's just not going to be a very comfortable backhand approach, most likely.
There's that headwind Erika was talking about. And unfortunately,
dang.
it's going to flip Missy enough to go out of bounds.
That's surprising. It didn't look as far over as Silva's, but I think Silva's was in. Kristin kind of in an uncomfortable wide stance for a sidearm, but look how much power she's able to give this thing. She's inside the circle.
That's incredible.
Really is.
The fact that she threw a standstill on the shot
Well, with her
to
right,
get a birdie, too.
right, and her right foot behind the
Yes.
lie. Amazing.
Also, today I threw 3 really great distance shots, and I was still at like 80 feet. So that's incredible.
Right, like what Lucky and you did
Yeah.
is it's fantastic, but like more typical.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
impressive.
The stats say that 13 competitors got to circle 2 in regulation, and while only 4 got to circle 1 in regulation.
Wow. Man, Missy, not the typical start we see from her. She's really kind of stacking them up. Just a little off here and there, but they can add up quickly. It's going to be 3 bogeys in a row, it looks like. Oh, Paige, wow, still a little farther than I thought. 50 feet for her birdie bid.
Silva with some work left to save this par.
She's been clutch on the par save so far this round.
This played as the second most difficult hole of the day, averaging at 0.82 over par.
I bet 10's the most difficult. It's not our game, but that's I'm just doing it. Nice birdie. Did you say how many birdies there were already?
There were 8. I did not say it.
Eight's pretty good, but I mean that's a big field for only 8.
Yep, and it is a lot of our distance throwers / circle 2 hotties. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
we in the club. It's nighttime in the booth.
You all saw that putt from Lucky. You know what we're talking about. Hole 4 is a par 3. It's 380 feet. And this is a tough gap to hit at full power. It's, I don't know, I can't quite make my body throw as hard as I can because I just want to hit the gap and take my par, because even if you pipe this thing, look at all these little trees in your way. This, I think, really starts the trend of the difficult par 3s that are at the max distance of most FPO and also does not have necessarily a super clean line to the pin. First things first, hit this gap that's about halfway down the fairway. If you don't, it's an absolute nightmare. Oh, and an elevated pin just for fun also.
Yeah, this is one of my least favorite holes on the course. I just feel like it's pretty forgettable. It's one of the only ones that I will say that I feel like it is a poke and hope. I feel like the rest of the holes do have a line. Like you have ideas and you need to hit the lines.
And that's going to be really rough in there for Silva. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, it's just, about 100 feet from the basket. It's just you're hoping.
Paige trying to work that right side, and that's kind of a mean little roll.
It's kind of wild to see how far they're missing the gap by. It's
that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't throw quite full power and just try to hit the gap, period.
Yeah.
Like this. I mean, that's still really good, obviously.
That's great. But you see how many trees she had to kind of filter through. Like Erika said, the rough, Silva's thankful that her disc hit early because the rough on the left and right is insane.
Yeah, I thought she was going to be deeper into the rough. She's really fortunate to have any kind of look.
She just hit the first of 3 structures that elevate the basket. We are on the middle elevation. That's still a good, 10 steps?
Yeah, it's tall. And not something that we really practice.
Yeah, it's higher than the typical Pro Tour elevated basket.
Paige in an awkward stance there, puts a lot of power into it, but overturns it. She's still got a lot of work left. Yeah, the main reason I don't like this hole, aside from, there really isn't much of a line, off the tee.
Wow.
Is like, that's an amazing upshot, and she's not really rewarded for it either, you know? There's just so many trees in the way.
Kristin does make the gap, and look what she has to deal with. She does navigate it well with her putter, but if you're a little bit off to one side or the other, it's really crazy how difficult it is just to throw that little approach.
So with it, big run for another par save, so close from about 55, 60 feet.
That was such an incredible run.
And Missy with a rare birdie look. I'd be willing to bet, 5 people or less landed in circle 1.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, 5 people in circle 1 in regulation.
Look at me.
17 in circle 2 in regulation, and I bet a lot of those 17 got bogeys. That's the type of hole it is.
Yeah, you end up, if you blow by this basket, it can be a difficult comeback. Or Paige making some nice work of that putt.
Yeah, that's a hard one. What a great bogey save. And these steps are very close together. It's super easy to slip around and misstep.
You have to walk down them like you're entering a ballroom.
Yes.
In a tight gown.
Uh-huh.
As I have a lot of experience with, as you can imagine. So tight.
Missy with some work left to do after that aggressive birdie putt. She's good for it. There were only 3 birdies. I'm going to shout them out. Lexi Marks, Natalie Ryan, and Kat Murch with a circle 2 putt.
Yeah, tough hole. I do really love this course as a whole.
Me too.
But this one could be a little different. We got a lot of options. I feel like we could do better. Fantastic putt from Paige there. Kristin keeping it clean, the only one on our feature card under par. Natalie Ryan with that birdie of hole 4, taking the lead at 3 down.
Hole 5 is one of the shorter par 4s that we see out at Rollin Ridge. It's another one, though, where the tee shot can't be really a max power shot. Forehand's great. You can do a backhand turning shot as well. I watched a girl on my card today throw a backhand that was unbelievable. So it does work. Your second shot, again, you're just navigating trees to a pretty well-protected green. Thankfully, though, this basket is nice and flat, and this is a hole that everyone is hoping to at least have a putt on.
A backhand would be so fun. Like, I would never in a tournament. I should have tried it in practice, though, because if you hit that flex line exactly, you could, like, maybe get a long look for an eagle.
Yeah.
Versus what Kristin is doing here is the typical play. You have to, as Madison said, take a little power off, hit the landing zone with a pretty sharp forehand.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you are wrapping the corner, not pushing deep. It gets almost impossible to get up and down from the deep side.
Ooh, Missy trying to make that backhand work, finding that deep side. This is like one of the few holes, I feel like normally on forehand placement shots, you're like pushing the back wall. And this one, you really need to like hug the corner on the right or just throw it high. Oof.
Silva with a pretty classic mistake for the backhand, finding the early side and getting a very friendly bounce back out into the fairway.
Paige opts for the forehand. Looks like nice stability on this disc here. And that's a good shot that's not really rewarded very well. A lot of fairway trees out here at Rollin Ridge.
It's also a lot of roots. In this, especially in this low area that we entered in starting on hole 4.
And this is where a lot of the squishy footing comes into play too. You're going to not be able to run up so much when we're in this little valley.
Here's Paige with a classic Rollin Ridge approach shot, pinned up against a tree. She's got to really hug that right side and let it hyzer back in.
Wow. Well managed. It's really difficult to get the backhand super close to the pin. I like more of a kind of panning forehand, or maybe like a light forehand flex to get there.
You can see from the deep side, she is deep in the rough,
Yeah.
just trying to get out, and she does it.
Squeaks out. Not even out. Out of the
man.
rough, still in the rough.
Wow.
Oof.
And
Man.
pitches up. I think the pitch up was fine. She's in an area where there are a lot of roots.
Yeah.
Kristin working that flex play that Erika was talking about. Early releases it a little bit, and she's going to have some stuff to contend with over there.
I feel like usually we talk about how hard things are, and then feature card and lead card just makes me feel like bad and old.
Yeah.
But like, hey, look, this course is hard, everybody. It just, demands really precise shots, as pretty much every course we play does. I mean, these courses are designed to test the very best of all of our skills. You kind of have to be perfect. Silva laying up her third shot to just outside the bullseye.
Yeah, it's also, a pretty classic, highly wooded track. We've kind of gotten away from those on tour. If we do play in the woods, it's a mix most of the time, so of open and wooded. So it's kind of hard to put your game face on and get ready to play a course like Rollin Ridge.
Yeah, to play a course that could wreck you. Missy carding another bogey. Paige a little low on her birdie putt, gonna settle for par. So does Silva. And this one certainly not a gimme, but as Mad said, this is one you really want to get. You really have to attack all of these short par fours. Natalie Ryan now 4 down through 5. There's a big tie at 2 down. Hole 6, another difficult par 3, 362 feet. They call this one the bowl hole because the pin is situated in a bowl, or like above a bowl on a ridge, actually. I like a forehand, personally. It's, I think, the more open line. But it takes an absolute rip to even just get to circle 2. The backhand is there, but I think the mistakes that get highlighted can really kick you off to the left into no man's land. Let's see Evelina rock this backhand, though. I do think you can get closer with the backhand. It just feels really risky.
Yeah,
oh my.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. She's having to cut the corner so close on that right side before her disc continues its flight. It's so tough. You have to have a lot of power to make that shot work.
So much power. What a birdie.
That's incredible.
I take Evelina to 2 down. Sick.
Yeah, this played as the 3rd most difficult hole of the day. I had it in my top 3.
Yeah, I mean, just the putting alone, situated on that little ridge line, even if you're 20 feet away, it can be really brutal. You see a lot of rollaways on this one. And then again, the footing, particularly after the rain, was pretty difficult. That's pretty.
Yeah, the camera angle making the hallway look a lot shorter than it actually is. It has to travel about 250 feet before it can start turning.
Let's see it again. Kristin throwing her Orbit St. Pro. A classic choice for her in the woods. Just look at that.
So good.
Silva, also a master of this shot shape. A little bit lower line, but nice and powerful. Gonna come up maybe 90, 100 feet short, something like that.
They're making the shot look very, easy.
This backhand's so difficult. It's so tight off the tee. It feels uncomfortable.
And you really do need a lot of height to get there. You can see Paige trying to push that ceiling, but of course it does come into play.
That red sign down there kind of looks like a mandatory, but it's not.
Missy taking that tight line as well. She barely avoids the one corner tree and finds another.
That was so close to good. Oh.
And this is what you're left with.
Punished.
The second half of this fairway can be brutal.
Missy's getting rocked out here. Like, she's not throwing quite bad enough shots to get as punished as she is. It feels like one of those days. That's DG.
Mm-hmm.
She'll have an outside the circle. Ugh, look for a par.
There's the checkerboard effect I was talking about. You can see those trees just perfectly spaced where there's not really one good gap.
Silva also facing the checkerboard. Manages pretty well.
7 players out of 78 got to circle 2 in regulation.
Only circle 2. Wow.
Only 2 people got to circle 1.
And we saw it.
I know.
Wow.
This hole is ridiculous.
Dang. No. Paige with a fantastic run and
gosh.
Equally fantastic rollaway in drama.
I mean, look at all the roots right under the basket. This is another hole that I do have some beef with. They have a pin placement on the deep side of the bowl, and they've played it as a par 4 at Silver Cup in the past. And I personally
I like that better.
I love it. I think it's such a great hole.
Yeah,
But
this is so mean. This part,
think it
all
was-
of the par 3s out here are so mean.
I think it was a very weird decision in the design. Oh,
No, that was like a pretty soft bid from Missy too. It picked up so slowly. And it's gonna roll outside the circle. This is almost exactly where
Oh
Paige just had it.
And another straddle putt, death putt.
Oh my. You're joking. That's the worst. That's the worst. Everyone knows what this feels like. But you hate when it's your day.
I just would avoid this in course design at all cost. A great comeback putt from Paige for double bogey. That's still a tester of a putt.
Hole 6 really showing its teeth, though. There's just no way to land super close and very punching green.
Just a little bit chancy.
Oh, yeah. Kristin birdied it.
Wow.
I kind of forgot that shot. It's been a while.
Kristin, 1 of 3 birdies. We got to see Evelina. Hannah Bloomer's also getting it from circle 1.
What a birdie. Kristin able to keep her scorecard clean, bogey-free. It's like Hannah Bloomers has the current lead after that birdie.
Hole 7, another par 4. Shorter par 4, another dog leg shot off the tee. You do have to hit this tunnel, and you want a lot of hyzer as you finish down this hill. Your second shot is the classic checkerboard approach. There's not really one area to land that's great. You just have a bunch of trees to navigate. And again, the basket is elevated.
This one, it feels like... it does feel like you're getting a little lucky off the tee. Like, there is a line.
And the approach.
Yeah, the tee especially, though.
Yeah.
Like, there is a line...
You just can't see it.
for like 3/4 of it, and then after that you're like, hope I miss those trees down there and kind of skip out into the open. Wow, that's huge.
That is a monster drive. And I kind of like Kristin's play here. Take something fast and just hope you miss everything and get way down there.
I think that's the only play. I tried to do like a slower speed and just like hit the initial gap and land short, but if you do not get out past that line of trees into the short grass down there, like, you're not birdieing it.
This is one that everyone has in their playbook to birdie. It played as the 3rd easiest hole of the day. So
Silva,
that everyone can reach.
yeah. Silva with a pretty typical mistake, a little sawed off to the left. This is the only hole on the course with a mandatory, I believe. And it only comes into play if you hit early right.
Most players just trying to avoid that one tree and miss that one left and hope you miss the rest of them. Paige, unfortunately, getting a pretty brutal kick to the right.
Missy, solid shot here. It's a little
my
inside, and she gets wrecked yet again.
Oh my gosh. You stand on a tee pad at this course and you just hear thwack, thwack, thwack. Just people hitting trees on other holes.
And perhaps some expletives. Paige, with not much left, just throws a forehand roller. I think she laid it down pretty nicely, but I'm not sure where it ended up. Ooh.
Missy, for sure, checkerboard effect happening from the left side rough.
This-
She's got about 250 to the basket.
This short left is awful.
Oh man, Paige with another really funky stance. This is like her 4th one of the round.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, that was probably so loud for you. Maybe we'll take that out. I just, you like feel for them.
No, the exasperation is real.
These are my true feelings.
Yeah, there's like a few little skinny trees that, I don't want to say cut them down, but
Burn 'em.
But we could do without them. But like I'm not that guy to say cut down trees on a wooded course. I love woods golf, but yeah, there's a few here that you're like, I hate you, tree.
You don't deserve to grow up.
Yeah. Oh man.
Silva gonna have a putt with that upshot. That was solid. And this is
Kristin,
Kristen's drive.
Unbelievable. Like that
The
is
farthest I've seen by
this is not
60 feet.
There's a few of the par 4s on this course that you can have an eagle look. I think there will be multiple, but this is not one of the ones I was thinking about.
No, I don't think it is. That was something special.
Missy airing one out high, trying to save the par.
Oh,
my
man. Paige so punished on all of these shots.
This is making me feel like less of a crazy person because I swear this is what I looked at all day.
Mm-hmm. Just
it can
parts of the basket.
Yeah, it can be so brutal. There's
know.
areas of the green that you don't realize are no man's land until you get there.
It's funny because I really, truly love woods golf. Nice birdie from Silva. Finding some green on the scorecard. But, man, when it's not your day, there's nothing more frustrating.
Yes. That putt from Silva was so impressive. These elevated baskets are a true torture on top of the mental fatigue you already experience from hitting trees.
And again, like we practice the elevated pins at the same height week after week after week. We're calibrated for a certain level. So to come out here and have this varying heights is an interesting and a unique challenge that we don't often face.
Yeah, this one's about 8 inches taller than the normal Pro Tour baskets.
Nice birdie from Kristin. She moves to 3 down. That's
Look at this clean round she's having.
squeaky clean.
It's scary having a clean round on a course like this. You're like, when's my moment?
Yeah.
When is it going to come?
And Missy's going, when does my moment end? For real. Rough go.
No. This is like a manic laughing. So
I mean, I think I screamed earlier. You can do whatever you want. I'm not sure what came out of my mouth. Silva gonna move back to even with that birdie. Henna hanging on to the lead 4 down now through 7.
the punch-ins.
Yeah, Punchin is a forest boardwalk, everybody. Fun fact. Hole 8, Madison's guess for easiest hole. It's a par 4, 401 feet. I like the layup play with a putter or mid to right here. It leaves a very nice open gap that the drone is flying. It's still not easy, but it's a clear and fair line. If you can squeak through there, you're going to have at least a circle's edge putt. And if you really kind of pump one out there, you can get into that field and hopefully have a clean look. You see some ladies get a little more aggressive and kind of play out the right side.
That's what I do.
I just don't think...
If
the line is quite as clear, but it is shorter on
Yeah,
the
but if
second
you
shot.
just like chuck a driver up the right side, as long as you hit the initial gap, you have like the easiest approach.
I just saw 2 people on my card do it, and the approach was exceedingly difficult. So I don't know. I just like the layup.
Kristin in a spot where she's going to have to make a decision. She might be pretty blocked by that grouping of corner bushes.
Corner bushes. I don't think I mentioned that corner bush area is out of bounds.
No, yeah, and that's the risk.
Which is the risk of the,
Yeah, that's a risk of going on that left side. Silva was definitely trucking right towards that OB pond if she missed those trees.
I feel like we should have mentioned these tee pads. Obviously, you're teeing from behind the line.
This is the only tee pad on the course that I have a complaint about. I know you had a later tee time, but at 10:30 this morning, this thing was ice. We had people having to just slide into their run-ups.
Ooh. Missy. It's going to be okay. It'll be fine. A couple of shorter layups. It's hard to be really aggressive with the layup, obviously, because of that out of bounds.
Here's Paige from the short side going over the OB pond.
I believe she'll have a putt from there.
This is one of the areas where there's a little pinch point before the basket, and being in the rough on either side is pretty difficult to recover from as far as just having a putt.
I think this left side in particular, where Silva just went. Oh, she kicked out.
Wow.
She went through it?
Yeah, get a load of that.
Wow. Check it out, everybody. Missy in the prime position to attack here, at least my prime position.
That's great.
There's something nice. You almost never just see a hole where you can just like split it in half, you know? I like it.
Yeah. That tree that Kristin hit catches a surprising amount of disc. Caught mine today. Leaves a circle two's edge putt uphill. This played as the second easiest hole of the day.
Ooh, good
I lost the
guess, though.
game.
Good guess. What a
Silva.
putt. From over 40 feet. Way to capitalize on that good break getting through the bushes. Nothing lucky about this, though. It's absolutely pure.
I like how the camera has to cut because Silva's so far away and she walks so slowly to the basket to get her putter that we'd be here for like-
Calmly.
Yeah.
I'd be running.
Me too.
Paige for her birdie.
Nice. I think that's the first one of the round. Get the birdie monkey off your back.
Missy's first birdie of the day as well. Yay. Hopefully can breathe a little sigh of relief here. Start building some momentum.
A third of the field birdieing hole 8. Dang it. You won the game.
Yeah, I wish we had steaks.
Medium?
Medium rare.
Here it is, the easiest hole of the day. It's a par 5. It's 468 feet. Wild, right? A nice soft par 5, though. We love it. This tee shot, you need to go dogleg left. The course map doesn't show it as accurately as it is. You do want to play pretty tightly on the inside line there. If you go deep, the hole gets infinitely harder. The left side of the fairway all the way down to the green is the friendly side, and it's fairly simple to get to the green once you wrap that corner.
I think if we didn't today, there will be eagles on this one.
I didn't realize this one was eagleable. It's such a
468?
sharp.
I mean, you'd have to get.
No, but it's just such a sharp left turn. I never would have even considered this as an eagle.
I saw Stacy Ronsley on my card get
Oh,
aggressive.
it's a par 5.
It's a par 5.
I keep thinking of it as a 4, even during my
yeah.
round.
Yeah.
I like
whoa,
got
whoa,
mad.
Whoa, wait, pause.
Whoa.
I've never seen this before. Paige is facing a completely different
OB.
direction.
What's over there? What's OB over there?
I don't know. I've never even thought about what's over there. Wow.
Oh, there's an OB line all the way down the left side of the fairway.
So is she covering OB the whole way?
Yeah.
And so she's going to have to take it way back.
She's gonna
Basically
have to
a
just, She's
retee.
gonna have to retee. That was straight off the tee.
Strange choice.
I wonder what she was thinking there.
I mean, I'm sure if it skips in, it's probably a fairly easy eagle because she's cutting the corner.
Yeah. Maybe she didn't know about the OB.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty blown away. It looks like
So,
Paige
it
gonna
looks
go check in on her.
okay. So it looks like the OB line goes all the way down the left side of the fairway, goes straight for a second, and then it cuts left. There's an arrow, sort of like what you would see on a T sign for a Mando. And maybe she was hoping to get over that line. It doesn't stay true to the whole left turn, L shape of the fairway. It like cuts a 45-degree angle on the 90-degree angle of the hole.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we knew how close she was to executing the shot because it looked like a decent forehand. That's going to be a good shot from Kristin there in position to birdie. But, I mean, obviously it had to have worked in practice. Otherwise, she wouldn't do it. That's
Yeah.
a wild play. Silva getting around the corner on her second. Missy lined up really nicely. That was such a good drive. Kind of saw this one off, but, you know, at 468, she's just a little in the rough. Wait, was that the circle dazzle? No.
Okay, so here's
Oh,
Paige.
wow. Now we're going back.
Yeah, Paige having to retee with the OB stroke. And what a lovely tee shot.
Yeah. So now throwing 4, you can see this is the footing that, like, this is what we had this so much more than the earlier tee times. Just slippery out there. I mean, that was a really solid shot. She almost got to circle 2. Wow. Silva, a lot of trees in the way. Needs a left to right moving shot here, which she's very good at, but that one doesn't quite turn enough.
Kristin's third. Just a little forehand. It's easy to come in a little hot here, and the green is hard pan, so you do get a skip past pretty often.
Paige is 5th, nearly 100 feet away. Strong bid. A little bit of work left for the bogey.
Missy with an equal look.
I love to see it.
"35 competitors got to circle 1 in regulation, 43 to circle 2 in regulation."
Dang, Silva not able to save the par either. You can see her frustration.
Really wide straddle putt. See if Kristin can get another birdie.
Yeah, not a gimme.
Wow.
Fantastic putt. Kristin, bogey free, 4 down. Really impressive start. It's hard to keep it clean and stay focused sometimes when your card mates are maybe not having the best time out there.
A great bogey putt from Paige.
Got to shout out Kat Merch. I talked to her. This was the first hole she came back to after the lightning delay and like threw an upshot and then threw it in for eagle.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kat was one of 2 eagles today. The other from Hannah Wynn, and I wish I knew how Hannah played the hole.
Same.
No, I do know. Fairway, circle 2, made a circle 2, a 49-foot circle 2 putt for birdie. I mean,
Sweet.
for eagle. Heck yeah.
Love to see a couple eagles out there. And we got a pretty big tie at the top, 4 down through 9, holding strong. But as you can see, Rollin Ridge, lots of scoring opportunities, lots of woes. We saw mostly woes.
Yeah, it's been a rough front 9 for our feature card today. I want to say there's so much room to turn it around on the back 9, but it is no easier.
Yeah,
on
the gaps
back
are
9.
still small.
Still very small. And holes 17 and 18 are brutal ways to finish the round out. So come hang with us. Not as much scoring separation as you would like to see, but that's kind of the nature of the beast here at Rollin Ridge. We do have one more chance to attack tomorrow before we move over to Silver Creek, so make sure you watch and get as much of this Rollin Ridge action as you can. See you guys on the back 9. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the two hot geese.
Honk.
Honk.